The Karasuno vs Seijoh rematch is one that is absolutely unforgettable. It's not only a game we were dying to see, but also one that we had to win. This legendary match has moments that have been etched into the Haikyuu Hall of Fame, such as Yamaguchi's iconic "Put Me in the Game," Hinata's final point, Oikawa's super long set, and the list goes on. However, amidst all of the beautiful chaos of this game, there was one particular character arc that stood out to me. One that I don't see many people talking about, even though, in my opinion, it not only teaches an important lesson, but also proves to us why Haikyuu is one of the most nuanced anime out there. It's a short journey, spanning only 3 or 4 episodes, but it deals with one of Haikyuu's most important themes, becoming one with your team. And this is explored through the lenses of a character that was introduced to us in this very match. A character who is a loose cannon, a double-edged sword, but a deadly weapon regardless. Of course, I'm talking about Kyotani Kentaro, the mad dog of Seijoh. Mad Dog's character revolves around the idea of not only being a part of a team, but accepting everything that comes along with that team. It's an interesting concept, and a perfect fit for the type of person Kyotani is. We'd already caught some glimpses of him before the match, and we could tell he was trouble. For example, as we see Aoba and his friend goofing off during their warm-up, Mad Dog runs into him, literally, and gives Aoba this intense stare. We can immediately tell what to expect from this guy. He's that one character in every sports or shonen anime that doesn't get along with anyone. It's a common trope, and one that usually ends in disaster for both him as well as his team. But here, his character is done really well, as we actually come to understand who he is. The way Mad Dog was introduced in the match was absolutely masterful, solidifying to us in a single play exactly what kind of a player he was. His introduction not only serves to set up his character, but also changed the tone for the rest of the game. Mad Dog is subbed in right when Karasuno is 1 point from winning the first set. Karasuno really needed this point, because this match is what they've been training for the whole season. Their loss against Seijoh had weighed heavily on them, so if they won this set, it would boost Karasuno's morale tremendously. Then comes along this angry kid who doesn't seem to care about his team at all, and we get one of the most intense spikes in all of Haikyuu. It's a horrifying scene for many reasons. First of all, it shows us the sheer power of this new guy, as well as his temper. You also have that terrifying soundtrack with the trumpets playing in the back, and even the players in Seijoh are a bit unsettled. Why this matters is because it completely throws everything Karasuno knows about Seijoh out the window. Now, fortunately, the ball does go out and Karasuno wins the set, but it's not the feeling they were looking for. Mad Dog's presence shows that going forward, we're going to have a brand new Seijoh to fight against, an unknown Seijoh. Starting with set 2, we see exactly what Mad Dog is all about. He hits crazy cut shots, has insane power, and is also a really good decoy because of his aggressive nature. So, using this newfound momentum, Mad Dog and Seijoh seize the second set, which then leads us to the third and final set. But here, we see that Kyotani has a lot of faults. Like it's mentioned multiple times, he is a double-edged sword. He's really good at smashing the ball, but he doesn't really play smart, and he just does what feels good. His cut shots aren't the most accurate either. But most importantly, he does not get along with his teammates. He's really rude a lot of the time, quite violent, and simply does not want to follow anyone's rhythm. Mad Dog is not a good teammate by any measure. He only respects Iwaizumi because every time he challenged the ace, Mad Dog was defeated, and so, almost like a wolf pack, Mad Dog came to respect Iwaizumi. As the game goes on and he gets more and more frustrated, Kyotani ends up missing a lot of shots in this third set. The blocks are easily reading him, he hits the net a bunch of times, the ball goes out, and his anger keeps boiling, to the point where he's treating his teammates just terribly. At this point, I think we all guessed that, oh, he's running out of gas and he's probably going to be the reason Aoba Johsai loses. But surprisingly, that's not what happens. Seijoh's coach subs Kyotani out and tells him to cool off if he wants to come back on. And this is my favorite part of Mad Dog's character. We actually get to see his backstory and come to understand at least a little bit of what kind of a person he truly is. We see this great scene of young pup Kyotani watching his first ever volleyball game live, which is where he absolutely fell in love with the game. But for some reason or another, he was always an angry guy and never got on with anyone. And so even in Seijoh, he caused a little trouble and wasn't allowed to play for a bit. However, during this time, he wasn't slacking around. He went around to multiple volleyball clubs outside of school and started practicing there. I love this side to him because no matter what kind of a personality he has, it shows that at the end of the day, he loves what he's doing and is willing to put the work in. Mad Dog knows that when he's allowed back into the team, he's going to have to be ready, which is why he's working so hard after school. In some ways, you could say his anger kind of comes out as raw passion for the game. He loves the game a lot and wants to play really badly, but he just doesn't know any other way to express it than his anger. As we saw when he was first introduced, he was just hungry to smash the ball, and not playing for a while had him feeling all angsty and stressed, resulting in that violent push. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, but even Seijoh's coach seems to understand this about Mad Dog. There's a reason Kyotani is on the team. The coach wants to use this anger. He wants to funnel that rage towards a positive purpose. He would never pick Mad Dog if the boy was all anger and had no passion for volleyball. Seijoh's coach trusts the rest of the team to keep Kyotani in check and help him control his anger, because he knows that deep down, Mad Dog is playing for the same reason as anyone else. Because he loves volleyball. Then we get to see him meet an older gentleman named Kiyoshi during those after-school club practices. I love this character, as well as the interaction between the two, where Kiyoshi calls out Kyotani for essentially running away. And this is where we get Kyotani's big lesson. A team can be pretty annoying a lot of the time. They can be a handful. But this is volleyball, a team sport, and that's what you sign up for. You don't just sign up to win, you sign up to deal with all sorts of problems within the team. Kyotani was just playing for himself, and so Kiyoshi says that Mad Dog shouldn't be playing volleyball if he can't even face the team he plays with. This is a fantastic exchange, and we can see that it leaves a lasting impression in Mad Dog's mind, even if he didn't fully understand that at the time. It's a lesson that Kyotani desperately needed to learn. Yes, he was practicing. Yes, he was putting in the work. Yes, he loves volleyball, but this isn't just about him. Haikyuu has constantly talked about this concept of a team of 6 players being stronger than one, and although it seems like a matter-of-fact kind of thing, it's not that easy for everyone to digest, especially those like Mad Dog that aren't the most social or good with people. Still, no matter how good you are at the game, if you can't get along with your team, it's pointless. Yet, even as he's subbed off, Kyotani isn't listening to anyone and is outright rude again. He's sulking in the corner all on his own, not participating with the team in the slightest. However, the lesson finally sinks into Kyotani as a fellow teammate, Yahaba, confronts him on the bench. Most might think that Aoba is taking it too far, but I think this was the perfect way to bring Mad Dog to his senses. You can't just expect this arrogant guy who always refuses to listen to anyone to suddenly just start working with you. You have to shake him up a little, do something extreme to catch his attention. And that's exactly what Aoba does. We also get a lot more depth to this character, who Kyotani previously brushed off as a loser show-off. But it turns out Aoba, even if he's not as good as Kyotani, has something that Mad Dog doesn't. Team spirit. Kyotani realizes how much Aoba cares for this game, not just for personal gain, but because it could be their upperclassmen's last high school tournament if they lose. Here, Kyotani experiences firsthand a different kind of love for the game of volleyball. He sees someone wanting to win for the sake of others. On top of that, he also comes to respect Aoba because of this. His whole life, people have always been scared of Kyotani and talked behind his back rather than seriously confronting him about his faults. Sometimes that pisses you off even more and makes you want to not listen to them. But Aoba said it straight to his face, deadpan, honest, and stern, which was the perfect way to get Kyotani to understand. So, Mad Dog, determined and changed, steps onto the court once more. Yet, despite him just coming in, despite all the mistakes he made in this set, the ball still goes to him. Oikawa, being the great setter he is, shows Kyotani with this one play that the whole team trusts him. This one play conveys to Mad Dog a simple message. He is a part of Aoba Johsai. This is his team as much as anyone else's. No matter how rash, no matter how angry, no matter how reckless, Seijoh accepts him for who he is. And this is where Kyotani finally understands what it means to be a part of a team. And this time, he experiences that feeling he's been lacking his whole life.
自分がチームを向き、チームも自分を向く。それができたなら、チームも自分もぶつかり合って強くなれる。それで、もしそれができたら、ラッキーだと覚えとけ。そういうチームはどこにでもあるものじゃない。
Mad Dog doesn't have the most emotional or dramatic arc, but it's the simplicity that does him justice. It's a beautiful, realistic journey of a man who simply doesn't know how to express himself. For the 3 episodes of development he gets, he's written in a way that's really natural, and the way his arc wraps up is hella satisfying, and is one of the many moments in Haikyuu where we feel hyped even for the opponents. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff. I know I haven't made a Haikyuu video in a while, but don't worry, there's more Haikyuu coming for sure. Other than that, I guess I'll see you on the next one.